Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the Trillion Dollar Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. This is your pre-market briefing for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. We have key consumer and manufacturing data coming out at 7 a.m. We have some strong earnings reactions across retail and fitness, and a major political address this evening. Yes, the State of the Union by President Donald Trump will definitely sway the markets. At least the markets will be closed when he's talking. All right, so I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into the mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, so if you check out Forex Factory, we have two orange folders today. CB Consumer Confidence, and we have Richmond Manufacturing Index. As far as the CB Consumer Confidence, if it comes out stronger than expected, that is a bullish tone for discretionary and broad risk appetite. If it comes in weaker than expected, that is a defensive rotation possible, and that's pressure on growth. And as far as the Richmond Manufacturing Index, it's still in contraction territory. Improvement towards zero could support industrials. Further weakness reinforces the slowdown narrative. And yes, at 6 o'clock, we have the State of the Union. Okay, we had some earnings pre-market. Or actually, let's start out for yesterday's earnings. We had HIMS had earnings yesterday. They beat tremendously. 100% on earnings and a small miss on revenue. As you can see, it's down about 6% in the pre-market. And today, in the pre-market, we had Home Depot. Home Depot beat on the top and bottom. And as you can see, it's up about 3% in the pre-market. Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness beat on the top and bottom, and it's down about 4% in the pre-market. And after the market closes today, we have Mercado Libre, CAVA, and WDAY. All right, next let's get into Robert Greene's law. For today, beware of illustrious mentor shadow. Try out their ideas, but always transfigure them and differentiate yourself. Your goal is to surpass them. How does that fit into long-term investing? You absorb the frameworks of great investors, but refine them into your own system. Glenn Gould internalized discipline from his mentor, yet it shaped his own voice. In markets, imitation builds foundation. Differentiation builds edge. True mastery is adaptation. When it comes to active trading, study proven setups, backtest strategies, but adjust them to fit your own psychology and risk tolerance. You are building your own trading identity. The goal is internalization and then evolution. Let price confirm direction, respect structure, stay disciplined. This is the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast, and I'm your host, Matt Riches. All right, let me get into. Give me a second to set this up before we get into the $1 Trillion Ticker market caps. Give me 1 second, y'all. You know I'm running the boards too while I'm talking. All right, there we go. We are ready. Let's get into the $1 Trillion Ticker market caps. Okay, most valuable company in the world, NVIDIA, 4.66 trillion, followed by Apple, 3.91 trillion, Google, 3.77 trillion, Microsoft, 2.85 trillion, Amazon, 2.2 trillion, TSM, 1.91 trillion, Meta, 1.61 trillion, AVGO, 1.56 trillion, Tesla, 1.5 trillion, Berkshire B, 1.6 trillion, 1.06 trillion, and welcome Walmart back to the club at 1.003 trillion. All right, let's get into these pre-market levels for our $1 trillion tickers. NVIDIA is currently at 190.90 in the pre-market. Google is at 311.68. Apple is at 267.43. Microsoft is at 384, y'all. Big discount on Microsoft. Amazon is at 205. Okay, Amazon back over 200. TSM, look like TSM is ready to hit all-time highs when the market opens. Oh, no. Yes. Wait a minute. No. Am I tripping or what? What the heck? We are currently at what? Oh, yeah. We about to hit all-time highs when the market open on TSM, y'all. Here we are. I'm not tripping. All right, next, AVGO. Currently at 322 in the pre-market. Meta Platforms, 633.15 in the pre-market. Tesla, 399.68 in the pre-market. Will Tesla close the day over 400? We will find out soon. And Berkshire B is at 493.43 in the pre-market, y'all. All right, I'm going to get into some news. We got a minute and a half before market open. So let me adjust these tickers. These are the 8 most valuable companies in the world. Starting at the top left-hand corner, we have NVIDIA, followed by Google, Apple, Microsoft to the right. Underneath NVIDIA, we have Amazon. To the right, we have TSM, AVGO, and Meta Platforms. All right, so our first piece of news here comes from Novo Nordisk. Is reportedly planning to cut price of its popular weight loss drugs Wegovy and Ozempic by up to 50% in the United States starting next year, y'all. They finna cut them prices. Or you could just do it naturally. Eat healthy and work out. Next, Anthropic is giving select current and former employees the opportunity to sell shares at a company valuation of roughly $350 billion. Go ahead and sell it and make that bag, y'all. Or sell some of it because you think it's going to run up crazy when they IPO. All right. Market open. The market is open February 24th, 2026, 6:30 a.m. California, we here, y'all. Let's get to the money. Let's see where we at, y'all. NVIDIA barely at break even at 191.58. Google is down 0.5% at 309.66. Apple is up almost 1.5% at 269.71. Microsoft is down over 1/4% at 383.17. Wow. Amazon is down fractionally at 204.68. TSM at all-time highs, y'all. New all-time high for TSM is 380.62. And shout out to that lady that was on a Compound and Friends last week that talked about my special effects sounds here. Shout out to her. Shout out. I made it all the way to the Compound and Friends, y'all. All right, next. AVGO. AVGO is down 3.5% at 318.35. Meta is down almost 1% at 630.75. Meta is headed toward the gap, y'all. Tesla is up fractionally at $400, y'all. Berkshire B is down fractionally at 493.44. All right, let me read some more news. What we got, y'all? What we got? Here we go. Intel is participating in a $350 million investment in the AI chip startup Samba Nova, and is also partnering with the startup. Intel CEO Lip Bhutan has been Samba Nova's chairman since 2017 and was an early financial backer. Wow, that's dope. So the CEO of Intel is the same person who's the chairman of Samba Nova, and they're partnering a $350 million investment. Wow, shout out to her. Shout out to Lip Bhutan. That's dope. Her network is going. All right, next we have BYD crushes Tesla in Europe EV race. BYD is rapidly gaining ground in Europe, with January registration surging 165% year over year to 18,200 vehicles, boosting its market share to 1.9%. Meanwhile, Tesla continues to lose momentum, with registrations falling 17% to 8,000 and market share dropping to 0.8%. The gap highlights a growing divergence. BYD's expansion, driven by both electric and hybrid models, is accelerating, while Tesla's Europe performance keeps declining. Despite a slight drop in overall EU car sales, electric vehicles are gaining traction, now making up 19.3% of the market, reinforcing the long-term shift to electrification, y'all. Shout out BYD. When they bring them cars to America, Tesla stock will drop dramatically if they bring them BYD cars over here, because they look just as good, but that price tag is about half. So, yeah, we don't want that. Not if you're a Tesla shareholder. All right, next what we got, y'all. Wells Fargo said that its gold target is between 6,100 and 6,300, y'all. While we talk about gold, let's go ahead and pull up gold on the chart. Gold is currently trading at $5,115 per ounce, and Wells Fargo says it has a price target of between 6,100 and 6,300. While we're on this page, let's go ahead and look at some of our other tickers that we like to look at on the show. SPX is dropping, y'all. It's dropping. Look at this. This is the 10-minute chart. Uh-oh, we broke. Yeah, we broke yesterday's low, y'all. We broke yesterday's low. Oh, it bounced. It bounced very close to yesterday's low, though. If it break and hold underneath there, we'll be in trouble. It's going to be a red day for today, but it bounced. So let's see if we can hold it. I don't know. The market's only been open for 5 minutes. We'll get back to them later. Okay, SPY is down 0.25% at 680.63. The NAS 100 is down almost 0.25% at 24,669. QQQ is down fractionally at 639 cents, y'all. Can the Qs hold 600? We'll see. And the Dow Jones, shout out Pam Bondi, it's up fractionally at 48,910. The Dow Jones ETF is up almost 0.25% at 489. The VIX is spiking, y'all. The VIX is up 5% at 2208. Oh, yeah, we got Trump talking at the State of the Union at 6 o'clock this evening, y'all. We got to tune in. You know we going to get some laughs. We don't know what we going to hear, but we going to get some laughs. That's for sure. All right. 10-year Treasury yield note is at 403. This thing been dropped. Remember, it was around 4.3. Now it's at 403. I wonder if that thing is going to go under 4, y'all. We just talked about gold. So the gold ETF, the mini shares trust, brought to you by Spider, the same people who brought you SPY, SPYM, SPYG. You can invest in gold. You don't got to pay $5,000 an ounce. You can just pay $101.45 per share, y'all. It's down 2% today. Or you can buy some of this iShares Silver Trust. You don't got to pay a full ounce of silver. You can just pay $78.70 for one share. It's down over 2.25%. Or if you want to buy some copper, you want to invest in the Copper Miners ETF, it's barely on the break even. It's at $90.80. AMD, wow, look at this monster pre-market candle. It went from 196 to 227. Wow. What happened? It had to be some news for that to happen. Oh yeah. They signed I got this in the news. But they signed a 5-year deal with Meta. Meta is gonna buy AMD's MI450 chips for its data centers, starting with 1 gigawatt this year and totaling 6 gigawatts with delivery in late 2026. AMD is currently up almost 7% at 210, y'all. Bitcoin is down over 2% at 63,200, y'all. IBIT is down almost 2% at 35.85. Ethereum is down almost 2% at 1,822, y'all. Ethereum is under 1,900, y'all. So you know what that means for BMNR. BMNR in the pre-market hit a low of 1860. Is currently going up. It's currently at 19. Palantir. Wow, look at this candle on Palantir. When the market first opened, this thing went all the way down to 126.37. But that's where my diagonal support trend line is. And it looks like it caught a nice bounce right there because it's currently at 129, y'all. Shout out to my trend line, y'all. Let's look at it on the daily chart. Yeah, nice bounce. Nice bounce. Trend line been holding strong. But we did have this lower high right here, so it held strong. It didn't give us a lower low, but it was pennies away from it. So expect a retest on that. And Robinhood What we got on Robinhood, y'all? This thing has been getting destroyed. Looks like Robinhood cannot run without crypto. And that is a problem. That's definitely a problem. I mean, it's not Coinbase. Shit. It's down over 1% at $71, y'all. $71 on Robinhood. All right, let's get into some more news. The Democrats. Dozens of Democrats plan to skip Donald Trump's State of the Union, opting instead for protest events featuring critics and public figures. The move is part of a broader strategy to present a stronger, more coordinated opposition ahead of elections, after last year's protests were seen as ineffective. That's interesting, y'all. That's very interesting. They are not going to go. All right, let's see what we got next. White House on Mexico. The White House encourages all Americans in Mexico to adhere to State Department guidance. Mexico is going crazy, y'all. It was reported that one of the leaders of one of the cartels was killed by the Mexican army, and the cartel is burning stuff down, y'all. It's looking like mayhem out there. They done shut down the airport. People on vacation, they stuck, y'all. I seen a video of a lot of people running through the airport. I seen videos of gas stations getting set on fire, buildings getting set on fire. It's mayhem out there. Y'all be safe, man. It's crazy. All right, next, U.S. job growth picks up steam in February. U.S. private employers added an average of 12,750 jobs per week in early February. This marks the fourth straight week of accelerating job gains, signaling a strengthening labor market after a slower start to the year. The data, based on a 4-week moving average, provides an early snapshot of employment trends and may be revised as more information becomes available. All right, let's check out next. Google just announced it's expanding its presence into Texas with a new data center in Wilbarger County. It says, we're expanding our long-standing presence in Texas with a new data center under construction and agreements to support local energy resilience, anchored by a focus on water security and energy affordability. The data center will use advanced air cooling technology, limiting water consumption to only critical campus operations like kitchens. It will be co-located with or built alongside a new clean power developed by AES. To date, we've contracted more than 7,800 megawatts of net new energy generation and capacity to the Texas electricity grid. In November, we announced a $30 million energy impact fund to scale initiatives to accelerate energy affordability, home and public school weatherization upgrades, energy efficiency, and energy workforce development across the state. So Google is doing a lot for the state of Texas, y'all. Yeah, didn't they say, I can't remember exactly what they said about the water drought. We're at critical levels. Man, oh man. We got all this water in the ocean. They can't just create some machines to take the salt out of the water and let us use the salt water. We could go to the moon, we could go to Mars. We got all this AI technology, but we can't figure out how to get salt out the water to make it drinkable for humans. What is really going on, y'all? All right, next. The U.S. turns to AI to set global mineral prices. The Pentagon plans to use an AI system to set benchmark prices for critical minerals, part of a broader push by Donald Trump's administration to build a global metals trading bloc. The program, developed by DARPA, aims to calculate fair prices by factoring in production costs and excluding market distortions, particularly from China. Initially focused on minerals like germanium, gallium, antimony, and tungsten, the plan would pair AI-driven prices with tariffs to stabilize markets and support Western producers. While designed to counter price manipulation and boost supply chain security, the proposal faces uncertainty over adoption, implementation, and potential impacts on global trade and cost. All right, let's check out the Fear and Greed Index. Let's see what's going on. The Fear and Greed Index is currently at 37. Y'all, we are in the middle of fear. Fear and Greed Index is at 37. Let's check out the heat map. All right. Let's see. Apple's doing good, up almost 3%. Nvidia down 0.75%. Google down almost 1%. Microsoft up 1%. Meta barely over break even. Amazon up 0.5%. Tesla up over 0.5%. Eli Lilly down 2% off that Novo Nordisk news that they're gonna cut prices on Ozempic and that other drug, Wegovy, by 50% next year. AVGO down over 2.25%. MU is up 3%. AMD is up almost 6%. GE is down almost 2%. Let's see. Energy's down. ExxonMobil's down 1.5%. Chevron is down 0.5%. Producer manufacturing is looking real green today. Finance is looking real gray. Not a lot of movement over there. Except Wells Fargo and Bank of America, they're both down over 1.25%. All right, let's check out the sectors, y'all. Look at XLK. Look at that candle, y'all. That candle looking strong. This is a 10-minute chart. All right, XLK is up almost 1.5% at 140.57. Next, XLY, our consumer discretionary ETF, is up almost 1.25% at 116.36. XLC, our communication sector, is up 0.25% at 115.60. XLF is down fractionally at 50.64. This is our financial sector ETF. Our healthcare sector ETF, XLB, is down 0.25% at 158.14. XLP, our consumer staples ETF, is up fractionally at 89.12. XLE, the energy sector ETF, is down almost 1% at 54.70. XLU, the utility sector ETF, is down almost 0.5% at 46.48. XLI, the industrial sector ETF, is up 0.5% at 175.67. XLB, the materials ETF, is up over 0.25% at 53.13. And XLRE, the real estate ETF, is barely over break even at 43.63, y'all. All right, let's check out some more news. Apple says it's on track to purchase over 100 million advanced chips from Taiwan Semiconductor, y'all. That's why Apple is up over 3% today, and Taiwan Semi is up over 3% today, y'all. When the $2 trillion tickers make a deal, they both running to the upside, bullish. And that's for its Arizona plant. All right, next. Putin says Russia's adversaries know how things could end if they resort to using a nuclear element in any attack against Russia. Putin says we got nukes too, y'all. Please don't nuke Russia, because Russia's going to nuke y'all back, and then it's going to be nukes going off everywhere, and it's going to be over for everybody. All right, Redfin report. Nearly 1 in 7 home sales are falling through, a record for this time of year. Nearly 40,000 home sale agreements nationwide were canceled in January. Canceled. All right, next. The share of U.S. loans in delinquency have hit the highest since 2017, y'all. Ooh. Y'all pay them loans back. Stop playing. All right. A little more context on AMD. AMD decides to give up 10% of their business in exchange for revenue from Meta. The 6 gigawatt deal. AMD will issue Meta 160 million shares of common stock that will vest in a series of tranches if AMD hits milestones, the first being 1 gigawatt. Lisa Su also had a similar deal with OpenAI. So AMD is going to give up 20% of their company to OpenAI and Meta. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot, Lisa Su. You preparing for the future, ain't you? This AI, now do you believe in the AI revolution? If Lisa Su is willing to give up 20% of her company to make sure that she's a leader. All right, bullish deal. But maybe it seems like they're doing this deal with Meta to hedge the previous one with OpenAI. Or are they just okay giving up 20% in exchange to eventually get to that $1 trillion valuation? Shout out to Amit for this tweet right here, y'all. All right, next. The FedEx lawsuit versus the Trump administration over tariff refunds, y'all. The FedEx is pissed off. They finna sue Trump over them tariffs that they paid. You know they dropped a bag. All right, next. OpenAI's $665 billion spend to boost AI stocks by 2030. Bank of America says OpenAI's revised targets $283 billion in revenue and $665 billion in compute spending by 2030 signal huge demand for AI across ads, cloud, and productivity. The move could create 45 to 75 billion in ad revenue, challenging giants like Google, Meta, and Amazon. Meanwhile, OpenAI's partner-led compute strategy opens opportunities for hyperscalers to supply AI infrastructure. Bank of America sees these trends as reinforcing long-term growth in internet and cloud platforms, despite near-term margin pressures from rising compute costs, y'all. Oh yeah, OpenAI, they trying to get some of that ad dollars, y'all. They trying to take them from the big dogs. All right, next, let's see. Okay, so this is the article that Amit was talking about yesterday. So instead of reading it, I'm going to put the article into AI and have AI create a podcast so I can just listen to it. Hey, we in the future, y'all. That's what we do. We don't got to read the articles. We'll put them in AI, and AI will create a podcast out of it. Don't you love living in the future? Yes, we do. All right, next. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy bought 592 more Bitcoin this past week at an average cost of $67,286 per Bitcoin. They now hold a total of 717,722 Bitcoin at an average price of $76,027. Woo! That's a Bitcoin treasury right there, y'all. But they're currently underwater. He said he don't care if Bitcoin price go to zero. They'll just refinance the debt at the bank. What bank is he talking about going to refinance the debt if Bitcoin go to zero? I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, next. U.S. orders evacuation of non-essential personnel from embassy in Beirut. A State Department official tells Fox News. The Department of State has ordered the departure of non-emergency U.S. government personnel and eligible family members from U.S. Embassy Beirut. We continuously assess the security environment, and based on our latest review, we determined it prudent to reduce our footprint to essential personnel. The embassy remains operational with core staff in place. This is a temporary measure intended to ensure the safety of our personnel while maintaining our ability to operate and assist U.S. citizens, y'all. It's getting pressurized over there, y'all. Next, let me run the prices right quick. Let me run the ETF prices that we usually check out on the show. IWM, that's the Russell 2000. It's up over 0.5% at 262. SPYM is up fractionally at 80.41. QQQM is up almost 0.5% at 248.72. SPYG is down fractionally at 103.45. SOXQ is up almost 1.5% at 65.62. TQQs is up over 1.25% at 48.88. SOXL is up 4.5% at 68.90. SOXX is up over 1.5% at 362.73. XLG is right about break even at 57.13. The IVES 30 is up almost 1% at 29.80. SPYI is up fractionally at 51.82, and QQQI is up almost 0.5% at 52.12, y'all. Let's run the train dollar tickers. NVIDIA is down almost 1% at 189.79. Google is down over 1% at 308. Apple is up almost 3% at 274. Microsoft is up fractionally. Microsoft is up at 0.25% at 385.36. Amazon is barely over break even at 205.38. TSM is up over 3.25% at 382.59. AVGO is down almost 3% at 321.12. Meta is down over 1% at 360.41. Tesla is up 0.75% at 402.80. And Berkshire B is down almost 1% at 390. All right. Back to the news. Anthropic with Claude Security is going after the cybersecurity market with a code tool. Validates. Oh, okay. Let me start over. Anthropic with Claude Security going after the cybersecurity market with a code tool. It's supposed to be a comma right there. Validates our thesis that cybersecurity is the next frontier for the AI revolution. Based on all checks, Claude will not replace vendors, but speaks to API on Nextdoor for PanW, CrowdStrike, and Zscaler. What the hell is API? OPPY. All right, next we have some Black history. Ibrahim Touré didn't want to use foreign companies to build roads. So he bought all the stuff and taught the people of Burkina Faso how to use it, letting them build their own country's infrastructure. Salute to that black man right there, y'all. Did y'all see the fight on Sunday? Clarissa Shields versus Franchon Cruz Dezern. It was a hell of a fight. They was throwing bombs, y'all. I think this fight was more exciting than the Garcia Barrios fight. They was trying to knock each other out for real. Check out the highlights.
She's got some pop of these heavier weights. Cruz Dezern might have felt some of those shots, those machine gun combinations. So the coffee box Cobos a moment ago. Another big right hand there from Shields. Shields at that point outlanded Cruz Dezern 112 to 62, and those numbers are climbing right now as Shields is putting it all together here in the sixth.
And still, the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the greatest woman of all time, Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields won, y'all. It was a hell of a fight. Definitely check out the highlights. I'm going to play this one more time because I got to prepare my coffee. So give me a second, y'all. I'm going to play the highlights again. So in case you missed it the first time, if you're watching on YouTube, check it out.
It's bigger than this, and this looks an awful lot like the first fight. They are going at it immediately. Kind of reduce the fight to a series of time races like this. She is very difficult to get the best of as she backs Cruz Dezern up. And they get tangled up. These exchanges, Clarissa Shields has shown some real heavyweight power. Two fights earlier, she knocked down Daniel Perkins in the last round of that fight. So she's got some pop of these heavier weights. Cruz Dezern might have felt some of those shots, those machine gun combinations. So the coffee box Cobos a moment ago. Another big right hand there from Shields. Shields at that point outlanded Cruz Dezern 112 to 62, and those numbers are climbing right now as Shields is putting it all together here in the sixth.
And still, the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the greatest woman of all time, Clarissa Shields.
Dope. And did y'all hear Mayweather is about to fight Pacquiao again? After over a decade, y'all. After a decade, they're about to do the rematch. I'm going to watch it. But it's definitely not going to be as exciting as the first one. These niggas is 10 years older each. Alright. That's enough news for today. We'll get to the other stuff tomorrow. Let's check out IG. Let's give us some of that good motivation and affirmations.
Every morning, everyone should speak these 5 affirmations. All right? I am the best. I can do it alone. God is always with me. I am a winner. Today is my day.
Damn, bro. What you gonna do with all that money?
Make more money.
Okay, and with that money?
Make more money.
And with that money?
Make more money.
Get to the bag, y'all.
You're more blessed than you think. Sometimes you just struggle to realize how much is in front of you because you're constantly thinking about what you have to obtain. The rich person is not the one who has a lot, but the one that has enough. So you should seek to have enough, inshallah.
And you know how we like to end the show?
It don't happen overnight, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day. It don't happen overnight, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring and empowering. And if you get too high off the highs and too low off the lows, you're going to take yourself on a ride that's very uncomfortable. I think it's just about being committed to the work, appreciating it, when it's good and not stressing too bad when it's bad, just appreciating the work and staying focused on showing up every day. It don't happen overnight, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really frustrating, and there's going to be moments when it's really, really inspiring.
Thank y'all for tuning in. $1 trillion tickers, y'all. I'm your host, Matt Richards. We'll be back live tomorrow in the pre-market. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.